My favourite book is The Witches because I know that witches aren't real, but it makes them seem like they are.
My favourite book is Matilda, and I like it because it's a very fun book and it really tells you how much power books have.
My favourite book is James and the Giant Peach because it's full of adventure and fun. I think that the best part is the ending.
Roald Dahl is one of the most loved children's writers of all time. Born on the 13th of September 1916 in Llandaff, South Wales, as a child he spent his holidays with his grandparents in Norway. As a young boy, he was sent away to boarding school, something he found hard. In 1929, he was sent to Repton, where he spent the rest of his school days.
He was at school just down the road from a famous chocolate factory, and the chocolate factory would send bars of chocolate to the school for the children to try. And he did say that's the first time that he thought about there being a chocolate factory with a room in where they were inventing bars of chocolate. And obviously that's an idea that he then used in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. As an adult, he even thought that children going to school and doing their history lessons shouldn't learn about kings and queens and their dates. They should learn about the history of chocolate.
Do you know what? Children today would love that idea. Can you imagine?
Definitely.
He's such a great writer, such an incredible author, and yet at school, his reports weren't good.
No, not at all. And even his English teacher said that he lacked imagination. And he also really struggled with his spelling as well. So it just shows.
When the Second World War broke out, he joined the RAF and learnt to fly.
Now, flying was so important to him, wasn't it? And of course, so important to some of his stories and the characters as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he flew in the Second World War as a fighter pilot. He was a bit tall, really, to be fitting into a fighter plane. They told him he should really have been flying bombers. And he just loved that sensation of flying. The idea of flying is something he picked up on in so many books. The BFG flies Sophie across into Giant Country. James and the Giant Peach is an obvious one. But even the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, when the glass elevator bursts through the roof, he's always drawing on flying in his stories.
After the war, Roald Dahl wrote short stories for adults and film scripts. It was not till later in his life that he started to write stories for children.
He was 45 when he started writing for children, and he was a dad himself by then. He had 4 young children at home as well. He would write a story and then he would read it to them. And even things like he bought a gypsy caravan for them to play in, but then that was the idea that he used for Danny and his dad in Danny, Champion of the World.
At this fascinating museum, we've seen how Roald Dahl's life has shaped and inspired his stories, making Roald Dahl one of the best storytellers in the world.